What's up, galera? It's Ohio with Jinga and Grow Strong. Today I want to talk about loyalty. And this got done with a video a couple days ago, which was a translation to Capoeira Pulando Moita. And that song was awesome, and I'll put a link to it here if you haven't checked it out yet, by Mestre Barrão and Achei Capoeira. And the whole thing of that song was about having loyalty to your group. You know, a capoeira que pula moita, someone who jumps the bush, who keeps jumping from group to group, wanting to be a teacher, wanting to have rank. Today I'm going to talk about a few different things about group loyalty and what that means in today's age. Because let's admit it, we don't all live in Brazil, and we didn't come up in in the streets of Rio de Janeiro and with the master in this group dynamics. So it is a little bit different all around the world, but you should still abide by loyalty. And one, because it's the right thing to do as a decent human being. I'm going to talk about a few different exceptions, but it's basically, capoeira is a martial art, and martial arts should teach martial arts values, which is like focus, respect, discipline. And I even teach it in my kids' capoeira or my Brazilian martial arts classes that I teach here in my studio. And when we talk about what is the definition of loyalty, and loyalty we say is a dedication to a person, a group, or an idea. Like you have a dedication to your parents, to your family, to your friends, to your capoeira group, to your religion, okay, so like an idea. So it doesn't have to be something tangible, but a dedication to that, a dedication to your future husband, your future wife, future spouse, whatever it happens to be. So we start building these values, these decent human being values, through martial arts and through capoeira. Okay, so that's what it is at the kid level, but still a lot of, at the basic student level. What does it mean when we talk about group loyalty? Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of a history of myself. If you haven't read my book, Jinga and Grow Strong, it talks a little bit where I come from, how I started capoeira. But I started capoeira back in 2006 in San Antonio, Texas, training under a then graduado advogado. He's now mestrado, so he's almost a master. Started there just to lose weight because I was fat and out of shape. I needed to lose 20 pounds. It wasn't working anymore, going to the gym and running. So I joined a capoeira group, and I joined it strictly just for fitness reasons. And as I started getting into it, I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's a great community of people, la la la. I drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, so as we slowly started to introduce us to our actual master, Mr. Loca, he would come in for all the events, he supervised us, check it out, and really building a relationship with him and learning about this group loyalty thing, which I take to heart. I love it. So some people don't agree with that, and I'll tell you a little bit here in a little while. But let me just finish with my history. Okay, so I started training with Advogado. Strict with him. He brought a whole bunch of people through Bachizados, different masters, Pingo Fogo, Mestre Virgolino. We had, people from Muito Tempo, Professor Muito Tempo, Mestre Ninja, all these, at that time they were all lower ranked people. But anyway, so we had the experience of training with a lot of different people, coming through our Bachizados, workshops, seminars, events, and traveling to other events where we do that. Mestre Mang, all these awesome masters. But we always had the group loyalty, which means we always had the respect and wanting to stay attached to Capoeira Jinga, our group, just happens to be our group, whatever happens to be. And that was awesome. We had the loyalty to our master, Mestre Loca, and we treated it with respect. So, according to that song, for the first instance, let me tell you a little bit about what disloyalty is, and I'll give you a few examples. So, like in the song that I did last week, Capoeira Pulando Moita, somebody who's trying to jump from group to group to gain rank, just like the way Mestre Barrão sang in that song, Capoeira Pulando Moita, that no one's going to respect that, and they're not going to really get anywhere, okay? Because if they jump from group to group to get into my group, why don't I think they're going to do that to me? They're going to use me, or use our facilities, or use our teachings and our knowledge and go take it with them somewhere else. That's so he's not going to gain rank usually in our group. Some masters will get to him in hopes that he'll stay or whatever. So that's the disloyalty part. And even in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu they call that a crianchi. A crianchi is someone who jumps from group to group. No loyalty to his flag. He doesn't have no flag. And I've done a lot of research and interviews talking about this specifically in my book. It's not published yet, but one of my future works, like a 4-year work, the 7 Habits of Highly Successful Capoeira Students. And where I interview Mestre Meng, all these different masters, Mestre Pingo Fogo, and they talk about this loyalty, contra Mestre Metido, which is train with whoever, and most of their answers are train with whoever you want, okay? But you need to pick a flag, the person that's your mentor, like your capoeira mentor, your group that you were raised, who taught you your rice and beans, your fundamentals. Those are the people you need to have loyalty to. And if they say don't support this event, you don't support that event. If you don't go to this event, you don't go to that event. And it's not to micromanage you. Trust me, nobody wants to micromanage anybody. It's a lot of work, but we just want to give you the respect. And so, give you the respect that you'll be using in your life for other people in every situations for life. So if they do that, that's what I mean about having respect. So, but most of them are like train with whoever you want, but you fly my flag and you have loyalty to me. So if we're not supporting this event, we don't go there. It could be to protect you too. We tell you, hey, don't go to this event because we have beef, some old beef with my master kicked your master or kicked some guy a long time ago. La la la. Some people think that's ridiculous. Oh, that's ridiculous. I can make my own decisions and I can do it myself. And I just speak from a place of insecurity. You don't think we could make our own decisions? Absolutely, but it's done out of respect. And there's a bunch of tough guys. You don't have to be in capoeira to be a tough guy. You know what I mean? But it's demonstration of respect, and that's why we don't go support those events. Not just because I can make my own decisions and I'm my own human being and la la la. I can build my own relationships. Whatever happens to be the argument against that. Okay, so that's for that person. Now, let me tell you another situation where this foggy lines where maybe there's not a steady capoeira group in your area, and you do have to go train from group to group because the teacher can't hold it down. The teacher can't hold the studio down. He can't rent. He can't pay the bills, and this happens a lot. These capoeiristas come from Brazil or from wherever, and they're not businessmen. They're not businessmen at all. They're capoeira practitioners and teachers. That's their strong point. So when it comes to holding a studio, hey, it takes money here in the United States. It takes money to rent studio space in the UK, everywhere else around the world. Okay, so it's hard to keep a studio afloat, and so you may not have a steady group in your area. So you may have to bounce from group to group, and that's not your fault. That's not being disloyal to a group. That's just wanting to having the love of capoeira and wanting to maintain that and keep on training. That's awesome, to love capoeira. Watching YouTube videos, watching Hey on Jinga and Grow Strong channel on YouTube. So that's not disloyalty, okay? So that happens all the time. Groups break up. A lot of groups that try to seize power, and they get really big, and they get too big too fast, and they implode. So that's another thing where groups fall apart, and you have to kind of scurry and go to the next group. So that was not your fault. That was your group manager's fault, your master, or whoever that happened to be, or whatever the dynamics of your group. It had a bunch of scumbags in the group. They weren't abiding by the group rules. They were going out and sleeping with people's wives, or they were going out and getting drunk, getting arrested, and setting a bad example. I mean, little things like that. It could be pretty much anything where a group can implode through just bad behavior. Because when you get too big, it's hard to manage a big company or just manage a smaller company. So one of our things, what is good, or a lot of masters do, is they don't promote unless you were from the ground up Capoeira Jinga, or from the ground up Capoeira Luanda, or from the ground up Capoeira Axé Capoeira, whatever group that you are, that they only promote if you've been there from the beginning. And so that's why when you move to a group, even though you got your third belt, they'll restart you over. They have to restart you over, rebaptize you over and over again. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. Then you weren't made for the group. You could leave. But if you do, you start all over. Even if you've been training for 4 years, that shows that you're willing to go the extra mile, start all over, and be from the ground up, whatever group that you're in, new group. So that's not disloyalty either. We also have talking to Mestre Meng in one of the interviews that I did with him. He talks about, hey, you want to go train with somebody else? Go train with somebody else. That's fine. But don't try to come and train with him and train with me, and you don't have any lineage. You don't have any, you know what I mean? Go train over there. We don't want you, because we only want people who are dedicated to our flag And if you're just passing through, yeah, come train with us. I love you. I love your master. That's cool. You're visiting. But as far as camping out, now also in this new day and age where you have a job that moves you to a different city and you have to move, and you have to train with somebody else. Like if you're still young and in capoeira, then that's okay. But if you're already kind of almost a made man, or like if you're graduado almost, a lot of times they'll say, hey, to start your own club, you've already spent 6 years with us, 7 years with us, 8 years, in our group. Maybe start your own club, we'll support you from here. So that's another reason. Sometimes, that's when the lines get foggy, and it's not so having this loyalty. So, but being outright, going out and starting your own group or whatever, that's showing disloyalty. But one more thing before I end the video, that happens all the time. So masters and contramesters fight. They fight maybe about fees. They fight about paying fees and I can't afford it, and so because of a money decision. Let me just tell you right now that when you're in a group, you do have to pay dues and fees to be a part of a group. It happens. You got to pay your master fee to come and train, and give workshops at your event. It's just part of that. You want to run a group and you want to make money off the students. If you can, you still have to pay a fee. Now, if your master says, okay, we understand you don't have that many students yet, we'll get you started. If they're going to work with you, that's fine. But realize that most of the time, 99% of the time, there's a fee involved in being affiliated with a group. And you're asking, well, what's the advantage of being in a group? Well, you get support when you have bachizados. They come out and they support your event. They come out and teach at your event. You have other people. You can go network and go to those other cities, to those other groups, and support their event. It's a bigger network and of feeling together, and it's the same philosophy that it should be. Now, I'm not saying that everyone follows that philosophy, but ideally, it's that group togetherness and that group philosophy that y'all are, bonded by, kind of that tribal thing. So, before I wrap it up, let me just say that people fight over those fees and they start their own groups or whatever, or the master is not present as much. He gets old. He doesn't want, he's not as traveling as much. He can't support a big, large group, and people are contramestres and they want to start their own group. Hey, that's fine. They do that all the time. Remember that I said that once you become a instructor level, which is about third or fourth degree, monitor, instructor, that you could go out and start your own group if you want, and you still have the support of your master. So that just depends on your group. Some people say, no, you got to fly my flag. Some people say, oh no, go start your own. So just know the defining element or the defining dynamic within your group. So that's my video on group loyalty. Just do it. It's good, just being loyal. It just shows good human character. If you have some kind of insecurity, or then that's fine. Whatever, you haven't developed that part yet. But nobody's blaming you if your group's already kind of imploding and having a bad dynamic. Hey, I wouldn't want to be a part of that group anyway. Forget that stuff. Get out of there. Go, find a better place. Don't be affiliated with that group if they're not your vibe. If they're not your vibe, it's not your vibe. You first. You know what I mean? But don't throw away the group loyalty aspect, because it's very honorable to have that characteristic of loyalty in your personal life, in your relationships, in your job and your career, and the Capoeira Group. So until next time, galera, I'm Jorge signing off. Ginga and grow strong. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Ginga and grow strong.